Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and this is another episode of It Came From The Network. On this one, we're going to do one of your recommendations from a good friend of the show, Steve Tatnani, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Wrestlemania 25. A show that a lot of people remember as pretty much a one-match show. One that I haven't watched in its entirety since the show. So I went back, I rewatched it, and here's going to be my thoughts on it. Now, as you know, on It Came From The Network, for those of you that are new to the show, this is where I review the weird, the wacky, the strange, sometimes downright dumb stuff that you can find on the WWE Network, hence the name It Came From The Network. Jumping right in, without going all over the place, let's go to WrestleMania 25. First match of the night, Money in the Bank, ladder match for the number one contendership. We all are familiar with the way Money in the Bank works. I'm personally more of a fan of when they were part of WrestleMania instead of their own separate pay-per-view. But I don't run things at WWE, so it's not my call. The participants in this particular Money in the Bank were CM Punk, Mark Henry, MVP, Fit Finlay, Shelton Benjamin, Kofi Kingston, Christian, and Kane. So pretty eclectic group, a lot of really talented wrestlers, and it was a really good way to start off the show. Interesting match. You had some big guys in there, you had some guys that are considered flyers in there, and you had some guys that are considered technical wrestlers with your MVPs and your Finleys. I thought it worked really well. I thought it was an awesome way to start a show. Started off hot, give a lot of action, give a lot of energy to the crowd. CM Punk comes out the winner for the second straight year, winning the Money in the Bank. Overall, I thought it was excellent. You gave the fans a wrestler they wanted to see win. You started off with a hot match. You set the bar for what the show should be going forward. And following that, right after, they took that bar and lowered it to the lowest of lows. First off, we had a Kid Rock concert, mini concert about, he did parts of 4 or 5 of his hit songs, and I'm a Kid Rock fan. I like some of his music. I enjoy what he does. I even like him in the context of wrestling when he's made appearances. However, after what we've seen, and my prevailing theory on this and others of their ilk, like the Flow Riders, the Pitbulls, I don't believe mini concerts belong on WrestleMania. Just my opinion. I think if you want to bring Kid Rock in or a Flow Rider, have them escort somebody to the ring. Don't have them take 10 minutes of the show, which could have been spread amongst the other matches, or even given to one specific match to make it better. Part of this was the entrance of 25 divas. I'm not going to go into who all was in there. Basically, it was a roster at the time, plus some of the legends, which, again, this is why the concert took away. You had a lot of people in this 25 Diva Battle Royal, and none of them were announced, so fans didn't know a lot of times, even watching it at home, you didn't know Sunny was in the match until Sunny got eliminated, or Victoria, or some of the other girls that came back to do this. And watching this, thank God, in the 8 years since the show, we've had the quote-unquote Divas Revolution, because this is what we used to have for women's matches. This was a terrible, terrible Battle Royal, and I love Battle Royals. It was won by Santina to become Miss WrestleMania. That's what the Battle Royal was for. Who Santina was Santino Marella in drag. Between this and between the Kid Rock mini concert, I mean, it just fell flat in my opinion. I don't know if it's maybe me watching it with 2017 eyes and not being in the product at the time, but it was just, to me, this was everything that was wrong with the Divas division, women's division, pre-Divas Revolution, in my opinion. Now next up, we have a match with Chris Jericho versus some Hall of Famers. He wrestles a triumvirate of Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The lead up to this was Y2J Jericho was dissing the Legends at different points. The original match was supposed to be Jericho versus Mickey Rourke, but Mickey Rourke backed out. Mickey Rourke was in attendance, as was Ric Flair as a quote-unquote manager for the three Legends. Jericho makes short work of all three. Snuka looked terrible. Piper was okay at best. Steamboat looked like he didn't miss a step at all. Ricky Steamboat, for being at that point, I believe 12 years retired, still looked like he could go, and even I believe the next pay-per-view he had a solo match with Jericho. So Steamboat was the one that really made this match. It took it from being another letdown to something good. After Jericho wins, which as he should beat three retired guys. They get a little thing with Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke knocks him out with a punch because Mickey Rourke used to be a boxer. I was okay with the celebrity tie-in with Mickey Rourke coming off of the Wrestler movie. The match itself was okay. I think it might have been better served to put some other person representing Mickey Rourke. Someone on the main roster, maybe. Not maybe the Legends could have accompanied that person. But that's just nitpicking at this point. Steamboat and Jericho made the match watchable, made the match good in my opinion. Next up, we have probably my second favorite match of the night. An Extreme Rules match between Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. Now, as you know, if you followed the career of the Hardy Boys, they're on again, off again, tag team, brother feud has been going on since the early 2000s. This, in my opinion, not one of their better matches, but a good match and a solid match on this card, one of the better matches on the card. I enjoyed it. The end seemed really good. Seemed like the match was cramped for time a bit, again, what I'm saying with the Kid Rock thing. If you could have taken 10 minutes from Kid Rock and gave it to this match, I think it would have been one of the better Hardy Brothers matches against each other. All in all, it's probably my second favorite match in the card. Really enjoyable. I like the finish with Matt putting a chair around Jeff's head and then hitting him with the Twist of Fate. I like the fact that Matt won. In my opinion, it was less predictable to have Matt win, so you need some of those on a card like WrestleMania. Just a solid match in the middle of a card that's starting to go downhill. Next up, we have for the Intercontinental title, JBL versus Rey Mysterio. JBL talks about doing big things all the way down to the ring, and in the previous weeks and months leading up to this. Mysterio gets a quick jump on him, boom boom 619, pin, in like 20 seconds, Rey Mysterio beats JBL. We find out afterwards the big announcement is JBL's retiring, apparently made to the fact that the fans disrespected him during the match, I guess, I don't know. But it was actually JBL's retirement match. I think they should have gave him a little bit more. Again, with my time constraints I'm talking about on certain other things. At least a 5-minute match, at least something, to give JBL a proper send-off. A guy that had been at the company for that point over 10 years, I mean, deserved a little bit better than a 20-second send-off. Although, I'm sure if you ask JBL, this is exactly what he would have wanted. Because he's the kind of guy that would be all about the business, and as we know, one of the old school mentalities is losing on the way out and making someone that's going to stay look stronger. Next up, we have the match of the night, and probably one of the 4 or 5 greatest matches in WrestleMania history. Probably one of the 4 or 5 greatest matches in all of wrestling history. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. What can I say about this match that hasn't already been said? If you're new to wrestling and you have not seen this match, pause this video right now, go watch that match, and then come back to this video and listen. Just watch the pure spectacle of 2 guys that are absolutely at the top of their game, 2 veterans that know how to put on a match, that know how to structure a match, that know how to tell a story, going out there and giving their all, giving one of the greatest matches in wrestling history. And suffice to say, out of the 2, this and the one from 26, I like this one better. Both had the same outcome, both have Undertaker winning. I just think that this one's a smidget better in my opinion, and probably, if you were to ask me, I say it's the best match in WrestleMania history. Or it's either that or Savage versus Steamboat, in my opinion. So, to me, to have such a great match at this point in the card is something that we're going to talk about a little bit later. One of the greatest matches of all time. If you have not seen it, watch it right now. Like I said, pause the video, come back to this video after you watch that match. Next up, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match. John Cena versus Edge versus Big Show. This match was actually a pretty good match, pretty serviceable, hurt by the fact that it had to follow one of the greatest matches of all time, which is what I'm going to talk about in a little bit when I talk about the overall show. Not a bad match, not a great match. It definitely, out of context, would have been better than in context where it is. It's, like I said, it's hampered. It's like eating a filet mignon and then being given a $1 McDonald's hamburger. Sure, the $1 McDonald's hamburger will cure your hunger and you'll be happy with it, but after eating a filet mignon, it's not the same. John Cena wins after some impressive stuff. At one point he picks up both guys for the attitude adjustment. A pretty good match, like I said. Just the placing hurts it. And that really comes into effect with the main event. For the WWE Championship, Randy Orton versus Triple H. We see at the time Triple H as a face Triple H, Randy Orton is a heel. Much like all of their matches, a pretty solid match. Nothing too spectacular, I would say. Just a really good match. Again, hurt by the fact that one of the greatest matches of all time went before it. Triple H picks up the win, gets his revenge on Randy Orton. And the show goes to the end a little bit anticlimactic. Then overall, just my opinion of this. There was too much garbage and too great of a match to care about the last 2 matches. It should have been, they should have moved Undertaker and Shawn Michaels to the last match, to the main event. It would have made the other 2 matches feel more important. They should, and they probably would have been better remembered among history. They're not bad matches by any stretch of the imagination. They're just preceded by one of the great matches. Like I said, you can't follow up filet mignon with dollar hamburger. It just isn't the same. And that's the big problem with this. The placement of the matches, the Kid Rock waste of time. You had some good matches. The Money in the Bank, the Hardys versus each other. The two title matches were really actually good matches. But everything is overshadowed by Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, which it should be. However, that should have been the main event, in my opinion. Now we're going to go into a review. Now, I'm going to do 2 separate reviews of this. One with the Undertaker-Shawn Michaels match in it, one without that match in it. Now, if you've seen our show before, you know that we have a 1 to 5 scale. If you haven't, we have a scale, basically a 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. 1 is a gobbledygooker, 2 is a renegade, 3 is a hurricane helms, 4 is a gold dust, and 5 is a Kane. With Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, I give the show a 4, a gold dust. Overall, a really solid show that was fun and leaves you with those WrestleMania memories that they like to build every year. Without Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, I give the show a 2, a renegade. Horribly paced matches, waste of time with Kid Rock and the Divas Battle Royal. The Legends match could have easily been done on Raw. The JBL Mysterio match wasn't great. The 2 championship matches were serviceable. Again, I can't look at them very objectively, following up the greatness that is Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. But overall, an unimpressive pay-per-view if you take out Taker and Shawn Michaels. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels make it one of the greatest pay-per-views of all, or match is one of the greatest matches of all time, and make the pay-per-view better. But without it, the pay-per-view's probably in one of the 4 or 5 worst WrestleManias of all time. Just having that match boosts it up a bit, in my opinion. But basically, that's all I have to say on this topic. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of It Came From the Network.